once again in another BMW, and I'm with...
Hi, I'm Clay.
Hi, I'm Clay. Hi, I'm David. Nice to see you again. Actually, I am seeing you again, which is great, because I met you at IA.
Yep.
Okay, and speaking of I's, we said I like 3 times, but this is IS, right?
Yes, IS.
And this is a 325i from 93.
Yes.
And it's basically the first car you bought with your own money.
Yeah.
It's all suspension.
Yep.
A really good seating position. A nice steering wheel that you typically would want to wear gloves.
Yeah.
And that's good.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, there's not really much else. I mean, it's got an Ireland Engineering catback and like an AutoZone special K&N intake filter.
Dude. Is it that Spectre?
No, it's actually a K&N filter, but just random piping from AutoZone.
Oh, okay,
so
that whatever.
Kind of in the middle.
But this is a side note to people watching. Don't ever buy those Spectre filters because they have a metal cap inside the filter that if a turbo, theoretically, that can suck the cap and go through your turbo and shred it.
Didn't know that.
Personal experience. Not my car. At Evolve Tuning's shop, they had that happen with a Spectre filter.
It's K&N, so we're
K&N, we're okay.
We're all right.
So you put the K&N sticker on the car.
No, there's no K&N stickers.
Shame on you.
Oh my God, I will go back and find it.
Anyways, so you came all the way from Louisville, Kentucky.
Yep.
Which I have family out in Kentucky. It's great. Beautiful roads out there. Some of the best roads I've ever done were out Mount Sterling. You ever been out there?
Yeah,
It's gorgeous. But this car is perfect for autocrossing, Tail the Dragon, and you actually have quite a bit of experience autocrossing, it sounds like, in the car.
Yeah, 2 years with it, really, but it's pretty much every single event that the KYSCCA has.
Okay.
The first year, I did it with like blown Bilsteins and some all seasons, and then the next year I came back, full VC suspension, RE71Rs, so like it was...
It had to been a world of a difference.
Oh my God, it was. I had the bucket seat the second season, the steering wheel, everything was completely different between the first season I did and the second season.
See, I think that's really cool though, because you literally have a very black and white progression.
Yes.
You know, it's not like, well, I added just bushings this year, and then I added just this. This is like, here's how it was, here how it is now.
Yes.
And your short shifter is ridiculous. Like, it's so notchy and crazy, and you're shifting out the Grip Royal one that looks like a screwdriver.
Yes. Click tuning, CLIQ. It's $150, and I think it's supposed to be a reflection of like the $800 like CAE or whatever.
Okay, yeah.
Fancy stuff.
And you said you have Condor stuff on here too, right?
Yes. So everything in the back, the subframe bushings, diff bushings, trailing arm, that is all a Condor speed chop. The engine and trans mounts are rev shift, the green ones, like kind of in the middle of poly.
Not too extreme, but because your car isn't shaking at idle. You don't have that.
No,
so
with the straight 6, it's really smooth anyway. Like I've been in like Mustangs with V8s with once you put poly in them.
It's game over.
Yeah.
You're a race car now.
Yeah.
There's no way around it. Like there's so many cars I've driven with solid motor mounts that I'm like, it is a street car, but when you first started, it sure doesn't feel like a street car. Just for the amount of vibration coming through the wheel, the dash, there's stuff falling out of the dash. Like, I drove a 240, like the first 240 you ever drove, the dash popped out because he had solid motor mounts and I floored it. It was just like, boom, everything, the radio, whole nine. Homo wheel's nice, everything's good, and the car makes what, like 190 wheel?
Yeah, like 189 wheel, 181 torque. Well, actually, no, not wheel. It's 189 brake. So like that is at the crankshaft. 181 torque. So on the tail of the Dragon, it's really weird because you're in third, and then as soon as you get to third, you're back down to the second.
You're back in.
But it's too much to stay into second.
Yeah, because you've just be hitting limiter the whole time.
Yeah, it's really weird gearing. Autocross, put it in second, that's it.
The whole time.
The whole time in second gear.
No, like when I do autocross in certain cars, like I just did autocross in an S2000 recently, and it felt so dirty because I was in first the whole time.
Yes.
You know, I'm like, oh, I feel like this hurt. It wasn't hurting anything, but it just felt like you're hurting it, you know? And I got a much faster time doing that. And I tried it in second gear and I was down by like 2 seconds. I was like, oh, okay. But autocross driving is so different compared to like circuit racing and everything.
I've had a lot of people tell me that autocross translates really well over to track, but track doesn't translate to autocross.
No. Not at all.
In the snow. I got in the wreck probably 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
And I ran into like the center barrier on the I-264, which I was doing like 20, 25. It was snow, so like.
Oh dude.
The whole front end is like. That's why the fender is the German flag, because it's random parts. The front would be mismatched anyway.
So you just kind of blend it all together.
Yeah, I just like, you know what, we'll do something
I didn't
crazy.
notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever.
So that's why it's like that, but at that point, that's kind of when I decided to go ahead and just get a different car and do this one for autocross.
Well, I mean, the E36, we were just talking about this, shout out to Tommy, but the E36 is such a popular platform now for autocross, time attack, and drifting that they're a bargain, and it doesn't have to be an M car. I think a lot of people think that, oh no, I don't want the E36, no power steering. Yeah. I don't want the E36 unless it's the M3. But all you're doing is asking for more money for maintenance.
Yes.
And you get the same chassis. Just put coils and good wheels and tires on it, and you're pretty gravy.
Yeah, these engines are really good engines. I know they don't make much, but like once you get to like the S50s and the S52s that you have in the M3s,
right?
They're very temperamental. Whereas the M50 and the M52 engines that they put in the non-Ms, you can beat on them all day and
all day
no
long,
problem.
Yeah.
They hold boost pretty decently, and that's why you do see a lot of like turbo builds on stock internals.
Right.
I've seen people make about 500 horsepower on these stock internals.
I've seen the first E36 I ever drove was a supercharged one. It was a black one. I was out near Virginia Tech, and there was these really great back roads to the mountains of Virginia, and I shredded in that thing. Thing was so quick around corners and stuff. And but he also drifted it too. His name was Kenrick. But yeah, he drifted it really, really well. He had great angle and everything. I think he still, Kenrick, if you're watching, I think he still does drift a E36, but it has like LS motor in it now.
Oh wow, yeah.
Whole different car now.
Yeah, absolutely. The plan is for this thing to be boosted by like pretty much by winter, by next autocross season.
Okay, yeah. So that's a realistic goal.
Yes.
I'm glad you're not just like, yeah, it'll be like next week and it'll go perfect.
No, I'm gonna do enough to like at least stay in for the driver championship for this season, and then once it's over,
don't mess with it during the season.
No, like you can't do big things like that, or you change class, and that's just how it is.
It's funny because like I'm eye level with the steering wheel, so I have to kind of look over like this. I gotta do like the little ostrich neck. Like,
you get used to it.
Yeah, the gearing's so long that it makes it really balanced, but it just is very long power band. So I can see how if you were to go into third at autocross, it's just like dead, just gone.
Don't even try.
No, not even worth trying.
Especially, I mean, there's such short courses, you know. I've never had any issue with needing to go into third at ours. Now, some of the ones that have in Knoxville, the ETR, SCCA,
right?
They like long courses.
I like long courses. Like I just did one at Clemson University, and it was super tight. Yeah. But it's because there was a lot of beginners that day, so they didn't want people to carry too much speed. But I had my 240, and I never cracked 2,000 RPM. Jeez, I was just like, I can't do anything. Yeah. The only reason I'm saying that is because when you have a lot of horsepower, it's kind of your only crutch. Yeah. You know, you're like, well, this is how I would win if I had a longer course. Yeah. But I can't do anything, so now I'm getting my ass handed to me by Miatas and Fiesta STs. Yeah, the Miatas dominate naturally. They still do. S2000s. After about 300, 400 horsepower, it doesn't really matter in autocross. No way. That's when I boost it, that's my goal. It's like 300. 350 would be nice, but 300 in this car would be awesome. Yeah. Like that's what the supercharged one was. Yeah. And you want to do a road style, you said? Yeah, it's a Toyota SC14 that they had on like the Previa minivans. It's not a very popular build here in America just because we don't have that stuff really. So the car has 232,000 miles. Yes, yeah. Oh my God. So the engine doesn't though. I didn't have it rebuilt. I bought a rebuilt one, and the guy had like driven on it for like 40,000-50,000 miles. So some old man, so it probably wasn't beat on. Those miles didn't even exist really. Pretty much, yeah. Factory transmission, so 232,000 on transmission. The diff,
pretty much everything except for the engine. So.
But here's the weird thing is you have an E46.
Yes.
And you've had a lot more problems with that.
Yeah, and the E46 has 170,000. That car is just a trouble child, or problem child. You know, right now the throttle body's bad, I think.
Oh,
and
no.
I replaced it. Still doesn't work. Turns out you need some special thing to reset some coding.
Special tool.
So I had to buy that, and after a month of fixing it, or trying to fix it, I should say, nothing yet.
This thing's quiet.
Yes.
Even in throttle. There we go. How are the brakes? Good. Okay.
Yeah, I've got Hawk HP pluses.
Okay. Yeah.
So
usually before the interview, I asked what kind of brakes you have. I just gunned it in top of third, and then was like, oh yeah, I haven't checked the brakes yet.
Yeah, they're Hawk HP pluses. They're loud, they're dirty, but they work.
There we go.
It's only 5-speed, so
right.
Coming like 70 to 80 down here, you're at 3,500 RPM, and I feel like I'm hurting the car.
I know, you're like, whoa,
like,
wake up.
Bring it down a little. I mean,
yeah.
Ben was driving, and he comes from Mustang world where 80 miles an hour is what, 1,500?
Nothing, cruising.
He was just like, Clay, I feel like I'm hurting your car. I'm like, well.
Well, especially he has like the S197, like with 05 to 09, and the gearing in that was so tall.
I mean, the tires, like, when I got it, really transformed the whole thing. I've got Bridgestone Potenza RE71Rs.
Oh yeah, that'll change the game.
Yeah, those are like the tire to have for autocross right now because they're 200 tread wear, and I swear I don't think they are. I think they're like 100 tread wear, but
yeah.
200 tread wear, yeah.
Hey, you know, if they have to do to sell the tire,
yeah.
You know, it's like, What's so hard about getting the perfect tire for autocross is like every platform has different wheel sizes.
Yeah.
So if you want that specific brand, sometimes you just can't get it, and it's really frustrating. And you realize that I have to wide body my car just to get the right branded tire I want. Yeah, it's like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah,
I'll just go with the other guy who might not be just as good or whatever.
Exactly, yeah. And by the time you wide body it, you put you in a different class, and you can run slicks
in
that class.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So
yeah, autocross classes really screw me up. There's so many different ones.
They're very strict.
I feel like it's like whoever has 3 bolts that attach their coilover is a new class.
Yeah, it all kind of depends on region, like how lenient they are. And Kentucky is pretty lenient on a lot of the rules, but once you get to nationals, that stuff doesn't fly. Like stuff like that.
No.
You're very specific, and you have to stick to it.
Well, on that note, I want to thank everybody for coming by and checking out Clay's car. I actually had a really good time driving it. It's super smooth, super great, and it's actually very calm. I mean, there's no drone in the exhaust. We didn't bother anybody with this video. We weren't ruining anybody's day. It was great. I learned a lot about autocross. I learned a lot about your car, how it transformed, and it has a cool story. Did you have fun?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
All right, sweet. So thank you for coming, dude.
Awesome. Thanks for having me. I do have a YouTube channel. It's Clayler4, so CLAYLER 4, or my name. I guess you could link it. So
there you go. Link in bio. Done. Hey, you, want clean wheels? Hey, use this. Spray on. Let sit for 45 seconds and turn purple. Spray again with water. Clean wheels. Make sure to check out www.pattersoncarcare.com. Made by car dudes, for car dudes.